Living already here but not working.
I'm really excited. Coral Gables is a great place. You have great employees, a lot of proud history, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
What are some of the things that you're going to look into?
Well, the City Commission made it very clear that they care deeply about the employees. They want to make sure that the employees are well served. They want to make sure that we have green practices, sustainable practices, that new technology without distancing ourselves from the residents, facilitation of permits, the coordination of redevelopment projects like the Miracle Mile project, the parking RFPs. The city has a lot going on, and they want to make sure that it's done well and the residents are properly informed.
Thank you very much.
I think it's a fantastic appointment. I mean, Cathy Swanson is a person that not only lives here, she has the institutional knowledge. She is a person that has worked in the city of Coral Gables for 20 years. It is really bringing a local person back home to the city.
What do you think of some?
Well, she's extremely strong with development, making sure that development is very, very cognizant of how it affects the residents of the city of Coral Gables. She's extremely strong at working with the residents of the city of Coral Gables because she understands that's the #1 issue in Coral Gables is making sure the quality of life is preserved for the residents of the city of Coral Gables. So she exhibits the qualities to make sure both those things happen in a good manner.
Commissioner, thank you very much.
Well, I had a chance to talk with her informally a couple weeks ago. We interviewed or chatted more correctly with 4 finalists brought forward by our search executive, Bud Park. And I spent an hour and a half with her, and I was extremely impressed. I had never met her before. It was my first time. But I was impressed that she had lived in the Coral Gables for the 20 years, for over 20 years. And the 6 years that she was in Hollywood, she continued to commute from here. So I thought that's a great show of support and love for a community that she would stay in it when there was probably a great deal of pressure in Hollywood for her to move there. But when I looked at her curriculum and all of the great things that attracted me to Coral Gables, and I realized that she was the person that was inspiration behind an awful lot of it. Everything from the internationalization of the city, the redevelopment of some of the areas that were basically blighted, like the old industrial area, the 4th of July, all her work on the cultural things. I just thought she had a terrific package, very personable. A lot of the residents had contacted me and said that they really loved her. They loved what she had done for the city, and I never heard a negative thing about her, and I just thought, wow, this was a person not only ethical, but with all the skill set required. A great record of achievement, and working in a city that was, in many aspects, much tougher than Coral Gables, bigger, larger workforce, bigger budget, and she did a tremendous job there. So I thought that I'd always wanted to have a professional city manager. I thought that city managers are professionals. It's a profession like a military or a diplomat, and not just we bring in somebody from necessarily the private sector. So I always wanted somebody who was a record of achievement as a professional, and she had it. So we only had a couple of the finalists that were actually sitting city managers. She was the only one. We had some assistants. So I thought she had the complete package, and the commission agreed today, and the community, former bosses and of hers and others that knew her from over the last 20 years came today to the commission meeting to lend their support to her. And so I think it was an easy decision for us, 5-0. She's the person we want to lead us forward in the next decades, and I think it's just wonderful that she's was available, agreed, and we have her on board.
I think that she presented the credentials that shows that she has the skills and the experience and the knowledge of our city to be a very, very good city manager. She has and has always shown a great respect for her workforce, her commission, the business community, and the residential community. I'm sure that what she will bring in her very beginning is the team building to have all of the departments and all of the people that work in the city and serve both our residential and our business community work together to do that well. So we have a real sense of teamwork again in the city. I'm sure that the morale of all of our personnel will be far better, and in turn we will be a much more productive city.
Commissioner, that was awesome.
Well, you know, over the past 6 months, we've had the pleasure of interviewing many candidates who were fortunate enough to be chosen throughout the process to be interviewed as potential city manager candidates. And, you know, many of those candidates stuck out as professionals who are more than capable of doing the job. But Cathy's an individual who has not only the expertise of being a previous city manager in Hollywood, but she also has an incredible expertise because due to her previous experience at the city of Coral Gables as an employee for the past 20 years. She also is a resident of the city of Coral Gables, so she lives in our backyard. But I was most impressed with her ability to deal with P3 partnerships, with historic interests, with the downtown of Coral Gables, and also her knowledge in regards to the pension reform.
What are some of the
Well, like I mentioned, I mean, she's homegrown. I mean, she went to school here, she lives in the city of Coral Gables, and she worked in the city of Coral Gables. So at the end of the day, we have someone who's in her own backyard, who has a vested interest in this community, and will work extremely hard to deliver for the residents and the business community.